First of all, I'd like to start this video by saying Happy New Year, Exway. It's 2023 and it's a brand spanking new year for everyone. It's the year of the rabbit, and I hope everything and all the dreams and your New Year's resolutions come to pass in a positive way. So, with that being said, I'd like to say the experience with the Exway Atlas Pro has been very interesting for me, and I think I'm keeping a good mind when it comes to it because it's been very stressful, to be honest with you. And I gotta say, November I bought the X. Just to give you an update, this is an update to the update. I like to call this one Exway Black Friday Massacre because it was a massacre for me. Now, I just want to continue to say before I even go on what I'm going to say is that I know that, you know, in a production line, when certain things are being produced, you will get a few bad seeds in that, and I understand, because when I've been scouring the internet looking at Exway to see what the Atlas Pro and other Exway products have and the problems they have, I don't really see too many battery issues. I mean, not batteries. I'm sorry. Too many 210 watt charger issues. There's only a few of us. I see like two people, me and another person. I'll put his information on the screen here too. I forgot his name because I'm not good at names. I apologize to that. But it seems like him and I and just a few other stragglers are having that problem. So Exway, bravo to you, because you put out a lot of these Exway Atlas Pros and you only got a few of the models coming back with issues. So now that we can move forward, now that we got that out of the way, I'd like to say this. When I first got the board in November of 2022, I received the board. Beautiful board, by the way. And I gotta say, if that board came out of the box working perfectly with no errors and I didn't have any of these small little weird issues that I'm having, I would say that this Exway Atlas Pro is one of the best boards I've ever had in my entire life because of all the bells and whistles on it. I love it, you know, upgrading from a boosted stealth. So I received the board. The charger out the box wasn't working. This is a 210 watt charger. Out the box it wasn't working, but I was fortunate enough that the board came with some power on it, so at least I can test it out. 4-wheel drive worked like a charm. Everything was, I was like, whoa, this thing has some power, it has some kick. This thing, you will enjoy this board if you get a working model, I gotta say, because I don't have any bad blood with Exway. I just happen to be the one to happen to get some of the bad parts. Fast forward, Exway sends me a new charger. I plugged the charger in, bam, it started charging my board. I was excited, but then I realized that ESC number 2 wasn't coming on at all. So, make a long story short, I told Exway in an email. They sent an email back to me. They told me to disconnect the power from the ESC. ESC wasn't coming on. I disconnected everything. I took everything apart from the ESC. Didn't work. So Exway said, okay, we're going to send you a new ESC. So it's been, about 8 days, almost 9 days now that it's still in transit. So I probably won't see that. I won't see that ESC for another probably 5 days. So the ESC's in the mail now. So I've been driving around with 2-wheel drive for a while. I don't like it, but I've been driving around with 2-wheel drive for a while just so I can get a feel of the board, tweak it. I changed the bushings. I put some of the gray bushings on. I kept some of the orange bushings on, balanced it so I can get a nice little carve but still keep stability. I looked at some video tutorials. So I went to plug my board in. Bam, the second charger they gave me stopped working like the first charger. And I was like, this cannot be happening. This cannot be happening. At first, I thought it was me doing it with my electrifying personality. But I was like, that can't happen. That would have happened with my boosted board. So now my board is at 29%. I'm not even going to plug it in because I know that when you plug it in and that green light comes on, which it doesn't come on anymore, by the way, it drains the board if it's not charging. That's bugged out. That green light just pulls all the power out your board. I don't even know how that big old battery can get drained like that overnight by that one green light on. So Exway, you should really look into that. I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to help you. Use me as an example of what you should do and the protocols that you should run when certain things happen. And for those of you who are looking at this online, you can use me as an example to say, if you're going to go buy an Exway board, any one of them, the Flex, whatever, and you say, okay, you know what? Let me look to see what Exway does for this guy first before I purchase it. Best thing about China, which I think is fantastic, they should implement that over here in the United States, is that during their New Year, some people, mostly a lot, get 2 weeks off paid, which I think is well deserved and fantastic. So with that being said, now, unfortunately, when I went to Exway's website, they told me that on their website, they're going to be closed for Chinese New Year's from the 17th of January to the 28th of January, and all tickets and calls and support calls will be handled according to the way they were sent. So if you have a problem with your Exway, you better send a ticket now, because imagine when they come back on the 28th and they have like 500 tickets and you are like 490. You may not get any service until probably March, April. Now the charger died again, and now the green light's not even coming on the charger, so that thing is completely dead. So I said, what the hell's going on? So I still had the first original charger. I plugged that charger into the wall, and that charger's green light doesn't even come on anymore. And I haven't even used that charger since Exway sent me a new charger. That charger has only given me 7 charges. So I don't know. Now, Exway, I know for a fact that you guys are on it when it comes to sending out parts and stuff like that. I don't mind. It's a new board. I don't feel like doing that, but I have to. It's my problem now. And I can say that there's no ring on my finger right now, but you and Exway, you and I, we're married now, because I did a reboxing, okay? I said, I'm going to send this back. And not just because of the 2 chargers and the ESC failing on me and the charger failing before the other ESC came. That seems like nightmare dreams right there. So, but I still took it to the chin like a champ, which I am. You see me smiling underneath this beautiful face and this beautiful smile that's really trustworthy. Inside, I'm really angry. But I'm mature, so I don't want to handle it by screaming on anybody. I just want this to be a learning lesson for everyone. And I guess I have to be the punching bag for this, but I don't necessarily have to be a punching bag. I can just be an example, and hopefully a good example. I never in my life did a full reboxing. I got so frustrated that I reboxed that board and I packed it up, and I'm going to send that board back to Exway. And what I would like Exway to do is just take that board and say, yeah, this guy has been through some stuff. We want him to have a great experience with our boards. He is saying this board is great when it works. Let's just take this board and put this board aside, figure out what's going on. It may have been one of the first gen models or one of the first off the press. You know, that's how it is. It's a learning lesson, because I learned so much. I took apart that whole board, everything. It damn near to the battery. So I know that thing in and out now. But here's one of the problems that I had. You see those 160 millimeter wheels, those tires that it comes with? They're pneumatic. They have air in it. They have an inner tube and everything. I'm new to pneumatic wheels. I've always had urethane wheels on my boosted board. I'm always going with that. But this is my first time, so I didn't know. I'm riding around that board since I got it, and 2 of the tires, it was flat. Now, when I first got the board, they came out flat, 2 of the tires, but 2 of the tires were filled. So I just said, okay, let me just fill. I went out on Amazon and I got me one of those portable air compressor things that blow your tires up portably, so you don't have to go to the gas station every 5 minutes, and it comes with all the accessories. If you want to know about that, I'll put a link in the description for that if you want. But I bought one of those. I filled it with 2 tires. One of the tires went down in half an hour. The other tire took an hour to go down. So went online, did some research, pulled everything out, took the rim off and everything, pulled the inner tubes out. By the way, Exway, when I pulled out all 4 inner tubes, they were all different type of manufacturers, which I thought was kind of bootleg. One of them caught my eye, the only one that worked, and it had a label on it, and it said Hota, or Hota, Hota, or Hoda, whatever they call it. Now, I went online and did some research on them, and they sell the inner tubes for that. They're the ones who actually made it. But I didn't like the fact that it was 4 separate inner tubes. One of them said Hota. Another one just said 150 by 50. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I looked at another inner tube. It had nothing. Not a writing, not a nothing on it. It just had 2 on it. I was like, what the hell is that? And then the other inner tube had no writing on it too. The one that had no writing on it, that one kept going down. I went out, I bought a patch kit, I patched up the inner tube, and I put it back in there, and I put it underwater. I did everything. There was not a drop of air coming out of that tire's inner tube. I even blew the inner tube up and left it for an hour to see if it deflates. I came back an hour later, that inner tube was still tough. So I said, okay, I put it back in the tire, I put everything back together, and as soon as I put that thing back on there, half an hour later, the tire is flat. That was annoying. I think that is what made me say to myself, I have to get rid of this board. I have to send it back to them. But here's the kicker. When I packed the board up, the board is about 50 pounds. I went online, USPS.com, and I typed in all the dimensions of it, and I was going to send it back to the California warehouse. I wasn't going to bother to send it back to China because they have a California warehouse. And I know they're not going to come back until the 28th, but at least when they get back, it'll be there. But when I went to ship that thing back, and I went to get a shipping label to send it there, and to get a shipping label, I pay for a shipping label to send it back. Oh my God, that is ridiculous with that shipping from here to California. The lowest I saw was $39, and that wasn't even qualified for me. And then above those are like $159, $130, $300 just for one way. So Exway, now I did a reboxing. I'm going to do an unboxing again. I guess we're married because I am not wasting the money to send that board back. I can just go online, get an inner tube for $10. That's out of the way. I'll wait for the other ESC for you to send me, which is in the mail right now, currently coming to me. And then I'll just complain to you guys, and you guys send me another 210 watt charger. You know what I think, Exway? I think you guys should send me a 1,000 watt charger, the supercharger. Because if you weigh it, if you the first charger, the second charger, and if you send me a third charger, it's like paying for the supercharger. Now, I don't want the supercharger to be my main charger, but I'm not really confident in those chargers anymore. When you take away my skate for 3 weeks until I get a part, that kind of stings me. If I didn't have an undershirt, I would show you the markings on my chest from the slaps that I got from having to wait for so damn long. You know what I mean? But for me to wrap this video up, because I didn't want to make this video long, but I had to give you guys an update. So that's where it is now. I guess I did a reboxing. I did an unboxing. Then I did a reboxing to send it back. And then when I went to the post office, I did an unboxing again. That is my update to Exway. Exway, I just want to say at the end, you guys send all your ambassadors a bunch of free stuff. I just saw Average E-Skater, which I'm a huge fan of, and you guys should have put that dude in the book. There ain't no black people in that book that you guys have. I'm not saying I ain't pulling a race card, but I went through that pamphlet and I ain't seen not one melanin person. So I don't know Exway. You need to put that guy there, the Average E-Skater, because he's the one who made me buy this board, because I looked at all his videos. And even Ricky, who was on Average E-Skater and got his own channel now, I even looked at his videos and I was like, I got to get this board. All right, because it was perfect. But if you're sending all this stuff to your ambassadors for free, I'm sure you can send me a supercharger, and as a paying customer, you know what I mean? Just see if you can make this right, Exway. Because at the end of the day, we're all customers, and I know you guys work hard over there. I don't want to downplay what you do. I commend you guys, and I appreciate what you guys do. But I really would like for my board to be working properly. So Exway, can you please make this right? Because this story I'm telling you is so bizarre you would think it's made up, but it's not. It's reality. And I'm right there in the firing field, right here with my helmet on and a busted skateboard. All right, so I cannot wait for this thing to finish working and me do a full review on it, because I have a lot of things to talk about the board that's not really important right now, but it's very important if there was a review. So once again, my name is Micah Hurdle from the Micah Hurdle Production Studios, rendering your imagination. And I'm sorry I made this video very long. Hopefully I kept your attention and share it with Exway and what's his name, Ricky? I mean, not Ricky, Vic from Exway, that guy. They say you're a nice guy. So I want to see if you're a nice guy, Vic. I'll talk to you guys the next time I do an update about this. It's getting interesting.